Hey everybody, this is John from Purple Sorcerer Games, and this is my first in a series of videos discussing the various tools we have available on the Purple Sorcerer Games website. It occurred to me that I just sometimes make an assumption that everybody knows what's available, and that's likely not always the case. So I'm going to be starting off with the zero-level party and tourney generator, and I'm sure that many of you have experience with the generator before, but I just wanted to show some of the nooks and crannies and things you might have overlooked. Now, of course, from the website, you can get to it by going to purplesorcerergames.com and clicking on Tools, and then the zero level party generator. Click on Access the Generator, and it'll get you there, and it takes you to this page. The first thing I'd like to talk about are the occupation sources. There's a whole variety of them. There's the one that comes with the DCC rulebook, and that's the standard occupations that your characters can start with. But there's a whole slew of them that have been added to the generator over the years, including ones from published adventures like Frozen in Time or Chain Coffin or Desolate's Fraternity. There's a whole slew of them that we've added, and there's also a number of them from individual campaigns from that folks have sent to me. The way that you can, and if you want more information about each one of those individual lists, you can click on this link to find more about the various occupation lists. And then it goes through and it just gives you a nice overview of the various lists. Some of them come with like special equipment lists as well, and some even have some special rules which are kind of built into the generator that you can discover, and it'll mention those things, I think, on the occupation list webpage. So that's a good way to learn out more about those things. There's also various dice rolling methods. There's the default 3d6s, Crom intended, but there's a number of others. Just like the occupation sources, you can click on the link underneath, and it'll take you to, and it'll give you a much more in-depth discussion about the various lists that are the various methods that are available. There's a couple of them, really cool ones from Terry Olson, our resident math whiz, that tend to make some more extreme characters. It's kind of fun, and there's a couple more down at the bottom that you can use for doing funky stuff in your campaign. Then there's a few different hit point methods for generating the hit points for your zero levels. And probably the most complicated of the different options that we have available are the various lucky sign options. Now, the default in Purple Sorcerer games is that when your lucky sign is based on, that's rolled when your character is zero level, and it's based on your luck at zero level. So if you have a -1 bonus to luck, even though it's your lucky sign, it'll give you a negative value, which is fine. But I always thought it would be, if something is a negative bonus, then we could give some alternatives for something called a lucky sign. And so there's a few options in here. The first one available is the augur toggle, and that is that if your lucky sign is a 0, and say so it's not giving you a bonus, it's not giving you a minus, then with the augur toggle, then it just hides it. So because a lot of people might say, hey, it's my lucky sign, but then there's no bonus to it, so then what's the point? So the augur toggle gives you the chance of hiding it. Now I'm kind of a positive guy, and so I thought, if it's your lucky sign, let's just make it a lucky sign. Whenever you roll for your lucky sign, you get a +1 in, regardless of what your starting luck is. That it'll just give you a +1, and so you can do that by choosing the ray of light option. Someone else said with the idea, well, I love the idea of the lucky sign, the ray of light, but what if you have if you roll like a higher luck bonus to start with, can we just apply those +1 or your luck bonus, which is whatever is higher? And I said, oh, that sounds like a great idea. So I added that on. That's the super ray of light. And then the last one is what Doug Kovacs used in his campaign, which he wanted to be able to only apply a positive bonus to your lucky sign, but also always show it, because even if you have you don't have a bonus, the lucky sign can be used for campaign purposes for all kinds of cool stuff. And if you want more information about those, you can click on the link, and it gives you all the information I just talked about those various lucky sign options. Now, of course, there's also many options, styles, formats that you can create using the generator. The standard is the 4-up PDF, which is what we've seen again and again and again. There's also some different style looks that are just like that, but say, for example, you can click on like the grunge look, and then it gives you kind of a different style for your character sheets. But there's also a slew of other styles as well. There's the plain style is for if you're looking to conserve ink. It's just basically gives a little tiny bit of shading behind the boxes, but it's basically just black or white, and so that's good for folks who want to be conserving ink. Then there's a number of tourney styles, which are, rather than having 4 up on a sheet, they print 1 character per sheet in this DCC funnel style tournament format, where you have the areas where you can be stamped with your deaths and add your notes. And there's a number of different tourney styles that are included for different adventures that have come out. There's also the index card, which is another single sheet style, which just goes and it prints it out. And this has been amazingly popular. I think people really like this. If you have a printer that can print on index size cards, then you can just all spit them out in this format, and they'll fit just well. And there's both a version that has lines and an unlined index size card. And then at the bottom, there's some specialty formats. There's plain text, and the plain text mainly goes along with, on the bottom, you can choose how many characters that you want created. So if you choose on the PDF, it'll spit out, if you choose the 50 PDFs, it'll spit out 50 of those 0 level 4 up sheets at a time. But if it's under text, when you click on it, then it just goes up, and I'm going to have to resize my screen here so you can actually drag them over so you can see. So, but then it goes and prints them all out as text characters, which some folks I think will find really, really useful. And then there are, I need to go by now, I gotta move it back into the right size. There are some very specialty formats, which are the CSV spreadsheet and JSON list. They're not going to show up on the screen here, but when you click on the spreadsheet format, it just spits out 100 characters that are in a comma separated format for being able to import into Excel or the spreadsheet program that you use. Then you can take that data and you can play around with it or do all kinds of neat things. And the same thing in JSON, which is another format for easily sharing data on the web. Folks can create your own scripts, so you can just whip out 100 characters, and then if you're handy at making your own scripts, then you can just use that as the source information for creating you can do all kinds of cool things with your characters. So say, for example, you could do something like have it in the JSON format, write a script and say, okay, I want out of the 100 characters, I want the 10 highest strengths, so they'll be part of the King's Guard. You can do fun things like that. If you click on this blank PDF to fill in by hand sheet, then when you click on the link, well, it's not going to work if it's in plain text. Let's go back to our standard 4-up. And blank to fill by hand, then it just spits out a character sheet that is like totally blank, so that your players would be able to go fill it in by hand. At the bottom, there is the change log. As I add new features onto the generator, then they all go on here so you can see what's new, and we're basically continually adding new fun things to it. And so if you have any good ideas for the generator, let me know, and hopefully I can get those things added onto it. And if you want to be able to add your own occupation sources, then there's a link. If you go up under Tools, 0 level party generator, campaign occupations, and if you click on that link, it takes you to a page, and it'll show you the basics of how you put together that if you wanted to have your own list for your campaign. And it's really not very complicated. So if you have something that you really want for your players, then just send me the information and I will let you know how quickly I'll be able to get to it. I've recently also added this thing with a Mailbird. I'm never going to have any like really ugly ads on my website, but I'm testing the idea of having doing some, I can't even remember what the term is when you become an affiliate with someone that this is the email client that I use on Windows 10. I really like it. If you happen to check it out and sign up, then I get a percentage of the fees that you pay, which is another cool way. If you want to support the free tools that we have, you can also click on under about, or not under about, under shop. No, I guess I removed the link. But I'm happy if you buy one of our adventures, or you can donate through PayPal. Anything that you do, we really, really appreciate, and we so appreciate and thank everyone who has supported us over the preceding years. So that is the Zero Level Party Generator, and I hope you continue to find a use for it. There, at this point, there have been, I think at my last check, there's been over 3 million peons generated using the generator, and I continue to be thrilled that so many people find it useful. So thanks and happy gaming.